Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be discussing the new agent ASTRA. I'm going to be breaking down her abilities very quickly just so you understand her kit, and then I'm going to go on to explain how those abilities interact with the map, the agents, give you tips and tricks, and help you master ASTRA before she's even released. But let's get straight into it. You start with 2 out of 5 stars, you can purchase another 3 for 200 credit, and all of your other abilities are pre-purchased. You always have all your abilities except for the stars, which you have to buy. You press X to go into your secondary form, and then use your primary fire to place down your stars. You can also press F to retrieve a star, leaving a small smoke behind. Once you retrieve a star, it becomes yellow and recharges. It's yellow, similar to a cipher trap in which you can't use it next round. You can also retrieve the star by pressing F outside your secondary form, and you can see it leaves that very short smoke behind. So placing down the third star, let me show you each of the abilities. First we have C, which is a grav pull, pulls everyone towards the center, and then pops, leaving them vulnerable, similar to how a Killjoy alarm bot works. Second is Q, causing an explosion and concussing everyone within the radius. Last but not least is a pretty smoke that lasts quite a while. As you can see at the bottom, all her cooldowns go on a 10 to 12 second cooldown, so you'll always be able to use your stars the way you'd like to. I mean, the smoke lasts so long that the smoke is going to disappear right when my second one has recharged. Her utility power is insane. Last but not least is her ultimate. Once in your secondary form, you press right click or secondary fire to open it up, then you press primary fire to place it down, rotate with the mouse. Once you've decided where you want it, use primary fire again to place down this huge wall that will cover the map. Another thing to note is that on the other side of the wall, sounds are extremely muffled. Things like gunshots are audible but very muffled, and footsteps are basically silent. I'm gonna let you guys listen right here. That point of silence is actually Sova walking on the other side, but it's barely audible. Might as well be inaudible. Another thing to note is these stars cannot be broken by enemy players. They can see them, but they cannot break them. And you also got to understand the range. It's very misleading. You can see this kind of gold line going around the star there. The Reyna is just in range, so you might think that everything will hit her, but it doesn't work like that. The concussion has this little yellow range inside. You can see it visually. That's where they'll get concussed, but not outside that yellow range. On the flip side, even if this Reyna is on the very edge, the suction does reach maximum range. So that indicator is good for the suction, but not so much everything else. Something else to note is while an enemy is defusing the bomb, you cannot kick them out of it, no matter what you do. If you concuss them, if you try to grav pull them, it does not matter. It'll just go through, the enemy can defuse, and that's very important to notice. For the planting, it works very similar, but not exactly the same. If someone is planting, you can grav pull them, but it won't stop them from planting. It'll just physically move them, which is still good. You can kind of pull them out of cover still, but you won't stop them from planting. This goes the exact same way with a concuss. It will not prevent planting nor diffusing. Talking about the grav pull, or the suck ability as most of us have been calling it during the playtest, you can suck in a lot of things, like an allied or enemy Sova drone will get sucked towards the center, and you can guess it, stuff like Raze's boombot will also get sucked towards the center. Keep in mind that all of your allies as well as enemies can be hit. Everything is friendly fire enabled. Things like Killjoy's swarm grenade, Cypher cages, as well as Raze satchels will not get sucked towards the center. Those things don't get displaced, kind of like how a breach ultimate can displace them. Again, if a boombot can work and a Sova drone can work, you can kind of guess a Killjoy turret will also get displaced by the suck ability or the grav pull to keep things more appropriate. Another thing to very importantly note, when it comes to how the suck ability works, it can cause inaccuracy, but only if you're trying to get out of it. So you can pull yourself away from the suck pull. You can try to fight it, but as you are moving, it will make you inaccurate as though you are running. So as you can see here, I'm trying to move away and my bullets are kind of spreading everywhere. I am tap firing, so they're not horrible, but there is inaccuracy. However, if I let this grav pull me straight towards the center and I do not move, I have 100% accuracy as though I was standing still. Another thing to note is that your allied stars are yellow while the enemy stars are pink. This goes for the embers on the ground as well as all the abilities that follow. There's a slight yellow hue to your ally and a slight pink to the enemy. Still can get very confusing in the heat of it, but it's important to note. Now, the first thing is to note stuff that don't go through the wall. Things like Killjoy's bullets do not go through the wall, but they are a rarity. It's because they count as though they are a gun, and bullets do not go through the wall. Guns don't go through the wall, Killjoy bullets don't go through the wall, jet knives, as you can see, will not go through the wall. However, there are a lot of things that do go through the wall, but we'll get to that in just a second. Something else I tested for fun is with Breach, we tried to flash off of the wall, but it does not work. The wall is not exactly, it's not tangible. That's the thing. It's a barrier to bullets, but nothing else. It's not a tangible wall, so it will not block any ability. It just blocks bullets. And Jet's knives and Killjoy's turret act as bullets. But let's say here, a Cypher camera will go straight through and ping me. And on top of that, the Cypher will see me clearly on the other side. So again, everything goes through the wall except Jet knives, Killjoy turret, and that's it. Like, that's something important to note. Let's say a Sova arrow, it'll go through. Any ability you can imagine can go through. Like, we tested everything, but it's not even noteworthy to show you. Bullets are a no-no. Abilities are a yes. That's it. Like, it's so plain and simple. I'll show you anything you can think of. A Phoenix projectile. Okay, a wall. It'll also go through. You'll see in just a second. A wall will go through. Any sort of flash will also go through. All the damage is applied normally. We showed that right now here with a Raze. So Raze Satchel, Raze Boombot. Of course, Boombot and those things, they'll track you after they go through the wall, but still, they go through the wall. A grenade, her rocket, her ultimate. We're kind of just showing you a small montage here of all the abilities just to show that literally everything will go through. Like, there's nothing you can think of. Reyna can use her orb straight through. So even things that are obscure work. We even tried a Sage, and Sage can literally revive through the wall. As long as she has vision, as long as she aims at the dead body, it'll go through. So every ability you can imagine. Yeah, the wall is very plain and simple. Not very many fun interactions. Bullets are no-no. Abilities are a yes. Anyways, now I want to explain some other things in the secondary form. When you go into the secondary form, you'll be able to see your allies, as well as where you place the star, and the bomb. Of course, you do not see enemies, enemy stars, enemy smokes, etc., etc. It's very similar to how Omen works. It's also important to note that the enemies can see the stars that you place even before the round starts. So if you set up stars on B before you started attacking, they're going to see that those stars are on B. So keep that in mind. But anyways, as we wrap up the video, I'm going to tell you a little bit of my final thoughts while showing you a little fun fact. You can fly out of the map as ASTRA, and this is not a bug. We were in a Riot Q&A, and someone asked, you can fly out of the map, and they said, yeah, we think it just fits our character. Flying straight into Oblivion makes a lot of sense. And yeah, they literally left it. You can just keep flying and flying straight out of the atmosphere. It's beautiful. You'll see in the background as I give you my final thoughts. But yeah, these thoughts will be short and concise. I have another video coming up probably tomorrow, explaining what I think about ASTRA and what she'll do to the game, the meta, etc. It'll be an interesting discussion. Wait for it tomorrow. But yeah, she's strong, she's interesting, and she doesn't have as many interesting interactions as we had with Yoru. But I think that this video in short form gives you a perfect understanding of her kit. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I'm going to try my best to answer them. I had a lot of hands-on time, did a lot of workshopping within the custom game, a lot of different interactions. Like, we tried to pull Killjoy's turret from a higher place. We tried to displace people from different angles, and even stuff like the graph pull, they have to be used quite precisely. Like, just note she's a very high skill cap agent. But yeah, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the content. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, join the Discord using link down below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one.